Hello and welcome to 15 Minutes of English. My name is Laurie and I'm an online English teacher. Now, in today's 15 Minutes of English for Beginners, we're going to be having a look at words you will find useful in an activity which is very common in the summer. It is the summer at the moment. And it seems like lots of people, lots of my students are doing this, which is going on holiday. They are going on holiday. Now, if you are American, you might want to say going on vacation. But in Britain, we say going on holiday. So, do you know the basics for when you want to go on holiday? Do you know how to ask for things in a restaurant? I think we will be covering that in a lesson soon. But today, we are going to have a look at these phrases with go, right? So all of these start with go. The first one there, we've got a picture of a passport. So when do you need to use your passport on holiday? If you go on holiday in your own country, then you probably don't need a passport. But if you go to another country, then you will need your passport. So there is a word for that, and it is to go abroad. Go abroad. Abroad means to a different country. Lots of English people, or British people, I should say, go abroad to Spain, Italy, Greece during the summer vacations and come back to Britain very, very pink. Lots of Spanish people that I know don't go abroad. They go to the north of Spain because it is cooler than the south of Spain during the summer. There you go. Okay. In this second picture, what are they doing? Now you could say they are drinking, they are having a party, they are at a bar. But what would you say that as a general term? In Britain, we would say that they are going out, right? You don't need to say that they are going out at night, because I think maybe as part of British culture, we like to go out a lot. We like to go out drinking or to the pub or to a nice restaurant or to a bar. So so if you ask someone, "Are you going out?" it means, "Are you going to a bar or to a pub?" Right? So these girls are going out. In the next picture, we've got a woman and maybe her daughter, and they have a map there, and they are looking for something. Now, you might decide to do this on one of the days of your holiday. Imagine you're going to a famous city, and you want to go and see all of the famous things in that city. What word would you use to describe that activity? Going to find all of the famous things. Now, you could say, we are going to find all of the famous things, but it's very long. So we're going to say sightseeing. Sightseeing. You go and see all of the sights. You go sightseeing. There we go. So if you go to Rome, you might go sightseeing and go and visit the Colosseum. You might go and visit the Trevi Fountain, or maybe some Roman ruins. Those are the sights. There we go. Okay. Now this woman with the ponytail and the red coat, she looks very happy to be going for a walk. She is going for a walk. Some people love to do this for their holidays. I quite like to go for a walk in a new city. I like to go and explore, and go for a walk. Yeah, there we go. Go for a walk. I think that was quite simple. The next picture then, we've got this woman with her red skis, and so she is skiing. So lots of different activities. If they are a verb, you can attach ing to the end and then just use go. So what are you doing on your holiday? I am going to go skiing, go walking, go cycling, go diving, go fruit picking, go swimming, go snorkeling. All of these seem very beach based. Go surfing, go mountain climbing, go trekking. All of those have ing on the end. The next one, actually, that we're going to look at also has ing. So the next one here, we've got a family with a blue tent. He's got a tent there, which is where they're going to stay. So what do you call the activity where you go and stay in a tent in the countryside? If you stay in a tent and not a hotel, you are camping. Camping. So you see here, we got the ing again, camping. Okay, how do you get to your holiday? Are you going to take the train? Are you going to fly? Are you going to drive? You can go by train, go by car, go by bus. And now the last one here, we got plane. You could say we're going to go by plane. However, it is not normal. Usually people would say we are going to fly, not that they are going to go by plane. So there we go. Okay, next one, we've got some dates circled in the calendar. It says in Brighton. Brighton is a nice little town in the south of England, or maybe it's a city. I can't remember if it's a town or a city. Anyway, what does it mean if you have planned something for just the end of the week? And what is the end of the week? It is the weekend. So you can go away for the weekend. There we go. What are you going to do? We're going away for the weekend. Last weekend, we went away for the weekend to Porto, which was very nice. It was not very far from Lisbon, where we live now. So we just went away for the weekend. It was not a very long holiday. Okay. Perfect. So in the next one, we've got some holiday phrases. Right. So we got some different verbs down at the bottom, and we got some different things to do. Right. So each of these different things needs a different verb. If you are studying along, I would recommend that you pause the video and that you write these down. I would recommend that you try and use your prior knowledge, use what you know already, and try and fill in as many as you can, and then we will go through the answers. Okay, so the first one, in a hotel or a campsite, right? What are you going to do? So we've got these verbs down at the bottom here. We've got take, have, book, buy, hire, rent, spend, stay, and sunbathe. Right. Okay. And what you're going to do is stay. You're going to stay in a hotel, or we're going to stay in a campsite. We're going to stay in a hostel. Okay. The next one there, photos. Now, this is a mistake that lots of people make, in that they say, we're going to make photos. Now, that is not correct. What is correct is take. So we're going to take photos. We're going to stay in a hotel. We're going to take photos. Souvenirs. Now, a souvenir is a little thing that can help you remember your holiday. So I have a little souvenir from going to Greece. A little picture of Lesbos. It's very nice. So what did I do with this souvenir when I was on holiday? I bought it. So you can buy souvenirs. Now, what are you going to do on the beach? Now, there are several things you can do on the beach, but the one we've got here is sunbathe. Sunbathe. This is where you lie down in the sun and go brown, which some people say is very unhealthy. I don't do it because I am very, very white, and I just go pink. Okay, the next one, a good time. Now, what are you going to do with a good time? You are going to have a good time, right? This is quite a useful phrase. If someone tells you that they are going on holiday, you can say, have a good time. You're telling them, to have a good time. It's a useful phrase. Okay. The next one here, we've got money or time. Now, what do you do with money and what do you do with time? You spend it, right? So how much money did you spend on your holiday? How much time did you spend at the museum? How much time did you spend at the beach? There we go. Okay. The next one, apartment. Now, we've got apartment or bicycle, Right. So we've got two words, two verbs that are quite similar. Um, so you're not going to buy an apartment to go on holiday unless you are very, very, very rich. You're probably also not going to buy a bicycle to go on holiday unless you're very rich. So what you're going to do is rent an apartment and hire a bicycle, right? Hire is usually for equipment or so for example a bicycle or skis or a boat, you can hire these things, especially if it is short term. So if it is for a small amount of time, then you hire it. Now this, some people will say that you can rent a bicycle, you can rent skis, you can rent a boat. You wouldn't normally hire an apartment. It has to be rent an apartment. Yeah. Okay. The next one then, a flight or a hotel. So the last verb, if you've been paying attention, you should know that it is book. So what does it mean to book a flight or book a hotel? It means that you go on the website and you say, oh, that's a nice flight, and you pay for it and you sign up for it. You reserve it. You book it. There we go. Okay. So the next thing, the last thing that I think we can look at here is something that you can do as practice. You can do this by yourself as practice at home. Answer these questions of what did you do on your last holiday? Now, I will go through the questions and give you my answers, and I would really recommend that you go through it yourself and write your own answers. You can put them in the comments and I will have a look and correct anything that that you made a mistake with. Yeah, okay. The first one there. Where did you go? So, where did you go on your last holiday? I went to Tbilisi, or we went to Tbilisi in Georgia. Where did you stay? Where did you stay? We stayed in a hotel in the city center. So we stayed in a hotel in the city center. Who did you go with? Who did you go on holiday with? I went with my wife. Now that is true. Last month I went on holiday to Tbilisi in Georgia with my wife. There we go. When did you go? It was last month. We went in June. How long was the journey? Now, the flight from Lisbon to Tbilisi took quite a long time. It took about 7 hours. 7 hours on the plane, if I remember correctly. It was about 7 hours on the plane. What was the weather like? It was very hot. But there were some storms. Now, that is true. It was very, very hot in June when we went to Tbilisi. The sun was shining, but there were a couple of rainstorms, which there was actually a blackout. There was no electricity for a few hours in our hotel, unfortunately. But it was all fine. We didn't have any problems. So there we go. Perfect. So where did you go? We went to Tbilisi. Where did you stay? We stayed in a hotel. Who did you go with? I went with my wife. When did you go? We went in June. How long was the journey? Oh, it was about 7 hours on the plane. What was the weather like? It was very hot, but there were some storms. There we go. Perfect. Now, if you feel up for the challenge, like I said, write a little answer in the comments and I will correct you if you have made any mistakes. Now, all that remains is to say thank you for watching the video. If you are interested in having classes with me, then you can get in contact via preciseclasses.com. We've also got an Instagram page, Mr. Laurie English. And I also have an email, which is director@preciseclasses.com. It would really help me out if you could like the video, subscribe, and share it to your friends. And I will see you next time.